Hill morning talk show and podcast. I'm your host, Nicholas Ganger. And anyway, you slice it. I'm going to dice it up for you today here on March 15th, halfway through the month, just about. And it's a wonderful day. The weather's slowly starting to change up here up north, and that's always a beautiful thing when spring's right around the corner. It's always a great time of the year. So I want to thank you for joining me today here live on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel at Conquering Hill, where you can find the replay every day and also on my Spotify channel. So today I want to ask you a question. Are you a weekend warrior? How do you spend your weekends? Maybe you work on the weekends because that's just the way our life goes, right? Sometimes we don't have the Monday to Friday job, right? Sometimes we do have to put the time in at our workplace on the weekends, and that's perfectly fine. But if you don't, or if you do have a day off, or half the day off, or however your schedule is on the weekends, how are you getting better? What are you doing to utilizing that particular time of the week? Are you a weekend warrior? Are you practicing something? Are you getting better at something? Are you building your toolbox? How much time are you putting towards your goals and dreams? When most people are out, either they're doing yard work or they're getting hammered, they're drinking, they're partying, they're traveling. Who knows, right? There's sometimes it is good to unwind on the weekend, no doubt about it, because you worked your ass off during the week and you deserve a day, right? Family time, with your whole family, with friends, no doubt about it. Enjoy that time, enjoy life. But you also want to be able to use a slice of that time to get better, to improve yourself, to improve your life, right? Because that's your time. That's your free time to do the things that you're passionate about, right? Unless you own your own business or an entrepreneur, you are working for somebody else. You are trying to help someone else's dream become a reality. That's just the way the nature of the beast is. So unless you are living your dream and working on your dream, you're going to be helping someone else's dream. So there's a distinction there. So when you do have that free time, that time is for you, and that's time for you to do great things, right? To accomplish great things, and no one could take that from you. So you have to utilize that time. You have to become a weekend warrior. Make sure you maximize whatever time you have throughout the weekend, to get better, to build your toolbox, to get stronger, to get more creative, right? Those are the types of things that you can build upon and compound, and get to exactly where you want to be, right? And maybe no one's watching. That's a good thing, right? Maybe it's really early in the morning or really late at night and no one's watching, but you're putting that work in, you're grinding towards the things you love, the things you're passionate about, the things that need to be done. Great. I used to look forward to them a lot too. Now I kind of tend to look forward to the Mondays even more so than the weekends, right? I here in Massachusetts, I do work on the weekends, so I do have a little bit of slice of time in the morning usually. However, when I'm working for a business, I'm not in Panama. I'm working for someone else's dream. I'm working for, a company, and and whether we like it or not, when we work for a company, we are just a statistic. That's just the way it goes. That's the nature of the beast. You can't slice it any other way. I mean, if you work for a mom and pop's business, maybe you could be treated a little bit differently, but more often than not, whatever business you are working for, you are just a statistic, and most of the time easily replaceable. So keep that in mind when you're working on yourself off to the side, in your free time. You are working for you, right? So you got to put the time in. And no matter what, there are rewards further down the line. There are rewards and successes and the taste of victory down the line for you, not for somebody else, not for some other company. And don't get me wrong, it feels good, to be a part of a team, be an employee, you know, fighting for that mission, right? Those are great things. But in the end, this is about what you're doing for yourself. As selfish as that might sound, it isn't, right? You have to take care of yourself. You have to live your goals and dreams because that's what you deserve, right? That's what you deserve and out of this life, to live your goals and dreams, no matter what they are, no matter how crazy they are, no matter how big they are. That should be your mission every single day. How can I reach those things? And I've discussed it many times. It's all about putting aside the bad habits, allowing the positive habits in, and creating a certain amount of structure in your life and sticking to it with hardcore discipline, being determined every single day. Being determined every single day. I woke up yesterday. I wasn't feeling too great. Both my kids are feeling a little off, a little sick, and now I'm starting to get it. And I'm like, screw this, But I'm still here. I'm still gonna do this podcast, even though I should be sleeping. I don't care. I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna battle through it. I'm gonna exercise and get through it. Usually, when I get a little under the weather, I try to exercise and sweat it all out, and usually that works pretty good. Drink a shitload of water, as I do every day, but the exercise is the key. To sweat it out, sweat it all out. So I want to ask you again: are you a weekend warrior? How do you spend your free time on the weekend? You know, what can you do? St. Patrick's Day is coming up. It's a great day if you're, especially if you're Irish, right? But it's a great day to party. That used to be one of my favorite days back in my youth. Even though I'm not Irish. A reason to drink, a reason to party, right? A reason to dress up in green, whatever the hell it was, right? So, um, if you're gonna do that, that's perfectly fine, right? You're gonna enjoy a couple beverages, that's perfectly fine. But what about the other 24 hours, 48 hours, 30 hours of your weekend? What are you doing to get better? What can you do this weekend? And if you're not a weekend warrior, how can you become one? How can you become one? How can you look at yourself and look at that free time over the weekend and say, this is what I need to do. This is how I'm going to structure my weekends now. I'm going to wake up early on a Saturday morning. I'm going to wake up early on a Sunday morning. Have some alone time, some solitude. I'm going to start, meditating. I'm going to start exercising. You can get better. And it feels great to get better when no one's watching. It feels great to get better when no one knows you're doing it. When you're working hard. Because I guarantee you, someone out there right now is working harder than you. They're working harder than me. That's just the law of nature. There's so many human beings on this earth that people are always working their asses off to get where they want to go. And they have different dreams. And they have different goals. They have different things they're fighting for. Their whys are different than ours. But more often than not, the ones that are truly fighting for their dreams and goals, we all have the same DNA. We all want something great out of this life. But the difference is how far we can push ourselves. How far can we go? The difference is when do we stop? At what point do we stop moving forward and fighting for that dream? At what point do we say, yeah, enough's enough. I'm not going to keep going? At what point? That is a difference. Some people would just keep fighting, keep going, no matter what's coming at them, no matter all these. You can throw rocks, arrows, throw shit at them, doesn't matter. They're gonna keep moving forward. You can talk smack. I'm gonna keep moving forward. You put obstacles in my way, I'm gonna go over them. I'm gonna go around them. I'm gonna go right through them, obliterate them. I'm gonna keep moving forward. In a certain mindset, people are wired a little differently than most. So you can either find yourself, you know, being with a crowd of just floating through life, being lazy, wasting away days, wasting away, the opportunity to create beautiful memories with your family, with your friends, wasting away, not chasing your dreams and goals, easily becoming depressed, putting yourself down, instead of trying to lift yourself up because, I can't lift you up. That person next to you can't lift you up. You have to get off the ground when times get tough. You have to get off the ground when no one believes in you. You have to get on the ground when you're broke. You have to get on the ground when you're hungry. You have to get off the ground when you're tired. You have to get on the ground, off the ground when things are just not going your way. You have to do it. No one else. So when the weekend comes, you have to get up early. When the weekend comes, you have to grind a little bit harder. When the weekend comes, you have to work on yourself. When the weekend comes, maybe you have to stay up a little bit late, or maybe you have to tell your friends, "I'm not gonna go out tonight. I don't really want to go out and party. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna keep working on my big idea. I'm gonna keep working on my goals and dreams. I'm gonna keep writing my book. I'm gonna keep writing this new song I'm working on. I'm gonna keep editing, this movie or this video that I'm working on. I'm gonna keep working on myself to get better." That's a tough decision sometimes. It's a tough decision to say no to your friends and family. When people are out having a good time, that's a tough decision to say no. So when people want to quit drinking or smoking or exploring different substances, sometimes the hardest part is because all your friends are still doing it, and once they're the first one to say no, I don't want to do it anymore. All of a sudden that relationship changes a little bit. All of a sudden, you kind of separate yourself because if you're hanging out with your buddies, or your friends, or whatever, and they're having a good time, they're drinking all night, and they're getting high, and you're there and you don't want to do it, then you start feeling that pressure, that peer pressure. It takes guts. It's a tough decision, you know. And people, you know, sometimes they don't understand it, they don't respect it, and they keep pushing you towards it. And eventually, you just got to say, you know what, this isn't my crowd anymore. If I'm gonna get to where I want to be, if I'm gonna quit doing all smoking and drinking and having a good time and partying, I'm gonna have to step away from this situation. I'm gonna get out of this circle of friends. That's not easy, you know. Of all the friends that you grew up with, maybe, you know, had a great time partying, and it was great while it lasted. But then all of a sudden, you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to be around that stuff. What else are you gonna do, right? What else are you gonna do with your friends if you're not, drinking or smoking? What else are you gonna do? What else is there to do? There's many things to do. Being outside in nature, hiking, fishing, riding bikes, going out shooting some guns. There's plenty of things to do without having to, use substances. So all those decisions you have to make. So when you want to become a weekend warrior and your friends are still out there, on Saturday night, let's go out. Let's get have a few drinks. That social aspect is difficult to let go of. When everyone around you is having a drink, or when everyone around you is having a good time, you have to be strong enough to say, you know what, I'm past this now. It's time for me to lock in and start grinding and start realizing, this is my one opportunity here to accomplish my goals and dreams, and I'm just here, you know, wasting money, getting shit faced, getting high. It's a great escape. It's a great time. You know, an awesome song from Modest Mouse. The good times are killing me, right? And it's so true. So true. Partying, having a great time when we're young. That's fun while it lasted. But now you should be a weekend warrior and really start grinding with the time you have. Start grinding with this opportunity at a great life, because you know what, time is ticking. So it doesn't matter if it's a Saturday, if it's a Sunday, if it's a Monday morning. Sometimes you have to treat each day the same. It's an opportunity to get better. It's an opportunity to create the life you want. It's an opportunity to live your life, to have the best life experience possible. And it's not always going to be good times. It's not always going to be easy. But the easiest things, the best things in life, they don't come easy. They require a lot of work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes pain. It requires a lot of pain sometimes. But the best places in life that you really want to visit, that the things that you want to gain out of this life, And when you reach those summits and you reach those goals and dreams and you accomplish those things and you create something out of your bare hands, out of your beautiful mind, and you create those things, it tastes so much sweeter on the other side. A sense of accomplishment, something that you were able to do because you put that time in. With all these other distractions were around, trying to pull you away, or people try to bring you down, you kept moving forward. You kept fighting for that dream and goal. So you gotta keep pushing forward. And keep living your dream no matter what. As long as you keep moving towards it, you're gonna reach it. I strongly believe that. So the question is, are you a weekend warrior? What are you going to do this weekend to get better? What are you going to do this weekend to get a little bit closer to your goals and dreams? Ask yourself that. So I want to thank you today for joining me here on a morning, Conquering Hill Morning Talk Show and Podcast. Heading back to Panama on Monday, so I'll be back at the end of the next week at some point. I'll keep you posted, but I want to thank you again for taking the time listening to the show. Hopefully, I provided a little bit of inspiration, motivation, and a little value to your day. I truly appreciate you taking the time and listening. And you can always catch the replay on my Conquering Hill podcast, Conquering Hill Spotify channel, and my YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Make sure you grind. Doesn't have to be all weekend, but make sure you do something. Make sure you do something to get better. Something that you're proud about. You got to hold your feet to the fire when no one else is going to do it. All right. Thanks.